So for me, the GoPro Max was never meant to replace my Hero 9 or my Hero 10. And for me, it was there to provide additional shots in my videos where it was difficult to get with a standard GoPro. I think where the camera excels is going to be for vertical formats. I found myself consistently using it more for vertical shots that could be posted to Instagram in a story or a reel or even making a YouTube short. And with its ability to frame any portion of the 360 footage, it really did make it easy. Honestly, I really thought I was going to be using it more for static shots of me riding by and then using the 360 footage to track and frame the footage. But it never worked out that way, and I really wanted to use this more as I typically don't have someone to film with me. And who am I kidding? That's just all the time. While we're on the subject of framing the footage, let's talk about the app. The GoPro Quick app on the phone does make framing and making quick videos super easy. It's really fun though when you use the overcapture mode, which utilizes the phone's gyro sensors and allows you to move the phone to frame the video. What's even better is being able to capture riders behind you, especially when it gives you new content for Friday Fails. So like I said, it's great for quick videos. And if you're actually trying to use this camera in your videos as a secondary camera, it's a bit of a pain, to be honest. I found myself framing up certain parts of the video and then exporting the whole footage into something I could bring into DaVinci Resolve. Unfortunately, unless you're using Premiere, you really need to export the footage out of the GoPro desktop app and then bring that into whatever you're using to edit video. And while we're on the subject of workflow, the color doesn't quite match up right as well when you're trying to match it to a Hero 9 or a Hero 10. It's not bad looking, it just doesn't match up very closely. Now, the camera does have a hero mode that essentially turns the GoPro Max into a standard GoPro. And I say essentially because it almost gets it there. The image quality I found in this mode was pretty bad and quite a bit worse than what a normal GoPro can record. And while we're on the subject of bad image quality, the video you get from the camera is really soft looking and you're really going to need to add sharpening back into the footage. Part of all this is due to the fact that the camera records a 5.3K 360 degree video file. And when you take a standard 16:9 frame out of the 360 degree file, you're only left with something that's 1080p. And like I mentioned before, it's pretty soft looking. And speaking of soft, you should check out these shirts over at mtbraddad.com. So if you use the protective covers that come with the camera, your footage is going to get even softer and it can even introduce artifacts into the video. These are great to make sure you don't damage the lenses, but I really wouldn't recommend running them. Honestly, I feel like you're better off rocking a GoPro Plus subscription and taking the risk of damaging the lenses. Something else you might have to worry about in a crash is the large screen they put on this camera. Now, don't get me wrong, this is totally not a complaint. I really like the screen on this, but in the event of a crash, there's really a good chance you're going to get it damaged. So while I don't actually have actual numbers, the battery life on the GoPro Max was pretty good. I found that I could get about the same battery life as my Hero 9. And the Max does take a completely separate battery. It's pretty much just a really long Hero 8 battery. And with just how big this battery is, it's actually quite surprising to see how small the actual GoPro Max is. The battery literally takes up half of the entire internals of the camera. When you compare it to the Hero 10, you can actually see it's quite a bit taller, but it's not actually as wide. So with the camera being a relatively small size, it does allow you to mount it in some really fun areas. And typically I found myself attaching it to the side of my full face helmet. And this is a great angle for vertical formats like Instagram. I really do like how you can see the bike move around about you. And with it being mounted on the side, it does open the option for some reverse follow cam. Now, do you notice how smooth this footage looks? No joke, the GoPro Max is insanely smooth. Thanks to the 360 footage, it's able to be really smooth looking footage. My second favorite spot has got to be on the handlebars to put the GoPro Max. With how smooth the footage is, you can get some really awesome looking shots and even some more epic screen grabs. So after all that, should you buy this camera? You know, I'm truly torn because it does do some really cool things. But on the flip side, the image quality just isn't there for me. And I think the biggest thing for me is that the additional work it takes to use the footage in my ride videos as a second camera just isn't worth the time. So I think it comes down to this. If you want to get some creative, fun angles, then pick this thing up. But if you're trying to decide between this and a Hero 9 or a Hero 10, the choice is easy. Just go with the Hero 10. And while you're at it, check out this video right here.